I didn't chase him. I didn't write 111 affirmations. I didn't force him to be in a relationship with me. But somehow the exact man I dreamed about showed up out of thin air. And a few months ago, I married him. Before that, I had tried every single thing to be in love. I tried the no contact method. I did the secret love letter strategy. I even tried to change myself to be with a man, but none of those things ever worked for me. So in this video, I'm gonna share specifically what I did to become fully confident in not just attracting any old man out there, but attracting my highest standard man. Because right now, if you're feeling discouraged when it comes to love, when it comes to finding a relationship exactly how I did before I met my husband, you won't be after this video, because I am breaking down step by step, once again, every single thing that I did strategically to attract that man. And towards the end, yes, I'm also gonna share the love story of how I manifested my man. Once again, I was not searching for him. I was not looking for him. I did not chase him. He came out of nowhere. So if you've been forcing love, dating the wrong people, or just feel like it's never going to happen, everything is going to change for you today. So let's just get right into it. Number one, you want to reframe the negative and limiting beliefs that you have around men. So ladies, this is where we're gonna do a little one-on-one, because trust me, after I had gone through so many heartbreaks, I got so burned by men. They always cheated on me. I developed so many negative and limiting beliefs around relationships, and specifically towards men. And the crazy part was I still wanted to be in a relationship. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to get clear in all of the negative and limiting beliefs that you have around men. Because trust me, even if you don't consciously think about these beliefs, subconsciously, that is what is probably blocking you from actually getting and attracting the person that you want to be with. So I made a list of all the bad beliefs that I used to have about men, and you want to do this for yourself. Grab a piece of paper, get a pen, write down all of the negative beliefs. So I had written down, all men are the same. All of the good ones are taken. I have to date dozens before I can find my husband. So this can also be negative beliefs or limiting beliefs that you have about relationships, or maybe your experience when it comes to dating. All men cheat. I have to go through heartbreak and heartbreak to find my soulmate. I have to change my values to cater to a man. I have to lower my standards. So just like literally write down every single belief that you think is not aligned with the person that you actually want to attract and you believe is blocking you from being in a relationship altogether. What we're gonna do is we're going to reframe those beliefs to empowering ones, because if you watched any of my other videos, you know your identity, which is made up of your beliefs, your thoughts, and your actions, is what actually creates your reality. So in order for us to attract the love of our life, to get in a marriage, whatever it is that you're trying to focus on, we want to make sure we're replacing them with more empowering beliefs. So I made sure I reframed every single bad belief. So instead of all men are the same, it was going to be I attract the one who stands out from the rest. Instead of all the good ones are taken, my man is making his way to me right now. It only takes one aligned connection to change everything. The man meant for me is loyal, honest, and emotionally safe. I can meet my soulmate effortlessly. The right man values me because I stay true to myself, not because I'm trying to change myself for him, okay? My high standards are a match to high quality love. In the beginning, and trust me, because I went through this exact same process, when I reframed my beliefs in the beginning, they felt very almost like shallow. They kind of felt like, okay, is this too good to be true? But that means you're on the right track, because love, it is supposed to be easy. You are supposed to attract it to you. So make a list once again of all of your bad beliefs, and then a list of all of your new beliefs, which are basically reframes of your bad beliefs. Now, I gotta say, shifting your negative beliefs is not enough to attract your dream man. If you're not clear on the type of love, the type of person that you want to attract to you, you're always going to be attracting mismatched type of people. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is going to be one of the most important lists that you ever make in your life. And this is what I call your love list. You are going to make a list of all of the traits, all of the characteristics, all of the habits, all of the beliefs that you want in your dream partner, you want in your dream man. And yes, I want you to be picky. I want you to be specific. Write down all the physical features, write down how much money you want him to make. And it's so funny because when I was outlining this video, I made this list, okay? Because I'm not just showing you guys what to do. I did this for myself. So this was back in 2019, 2020. I made a list of all of the traits I wanted in my dream partner. And I specifically dug up this notebook for you so I can read off some of the things that I had on my list. I'm not going to read off everything because I have literally pages of what I wanted in my dream man, but you want to make your list. Now I'm going to go through and read off some of the things that I had on my list, but we are not stopping there. You are not just making a list of all the characteristics and traits of your dream partner. You're also going to make a list for yourself. And that is going to be me as a perfect partner. That's what I had written down right over here. All the characteristics, all the traits, all the habits, all the beliefs that you need to be and become to be a match for the person that you're trying to attract. Because I will tell you, odds are you are not the version of you that is even capable of holding the relationship that you really want. And this is where you want to get very, very raw and real with yourself. Because for me, trust me, back then when I was dating all the narcissistic men, all the men that were cheating on me, I did not have the values, the beliefs, and the traits to keep the husband that I am married to today. I had to upgrade myself. Okay, so we want to go through two lists. So first of all, we're going to go through and you're going to write out the list of every single thing that you want in your dream partner. And I'm going to read off some of them so you can see how specific I really got. So I had written down, be 5'10", have hazel/green eyes, dark brown, golden hair. So yes, you can have physical appearances on there as well. A real man who protects women and children, is respectful of my religion, ethically ambitious, is an entrepreneur, loves his mom and sisters, never tries to control me. And yes, you can get like very materialistic with this too, because there's nothing wrong about being specific. I had written down, can't afford to buy me a Cartier bracelet if you wanted to. And he, yes, did buy me a Cartier bracelet when he proposed to me last year. So, and I'll read just a few more, but I have like a lot on here. He treats me with respect. He has my back no matter what. He always wants to better himself. What else do I have on here? He is persistent and he's committed. He makes me feel safe and secure. He loves to travel. So the key thing about this is you want to get so specific, because that way when you do start to attract men into your life, you know exactly what it is that you're looking for and you know your standards. Now, I want to share one detail that I had written down in my notes when it comes to writing down specifics in terms of like how much money he's making, his career and his goals. There's nuances to that, because once again, I had written down he's an entrepreneur, he makes a lot of money, he can treat me and he can buy me Cartier and different gifts and all those things. But when I actually met Andy, my husband, I was actually making more money than him, okay? And he was very driven and he was very ambitious. So us together, I actually really inspired and motivated him to unlock his potential, go after his dreams. And he's built a multi-million-dollar business since I met him 4 years ago. So he grew into the person that I also wanted him to be. So you just also want to keep that in mind. Yes, you have that list, and yes, there's different nuances and details to it, but that's why when you have this list and when you do start to date people, you want to make sure the top things, like making sure he's loyal, he supports you, he's protecting you, those are the key elements that you're looking for when it comes to that man. Now, on my list of what I had to be the perfect partner for him is be smart and confident, independent, and can take care of herself. She is loyal. She has her own life outside of her partner's. She's faithful and she's ethical. She's a true partner and she helps everybody else reach their highest potential. She has a positive outlook in life. She is not insecure. She is hardworking and ambitious. She challenges her partner in a very good way. She seeks other powerful women. She's very spiritual. So all of the things that I had written down prior to me meeting my husband, I was not being those things. Maybe I wanted to be those things, but I wasn't actually embodying those things. So you want to take the time to make your love list. Make your love list for the dream partner that you want to attract, but then also make your love list for the dream partner that you need to become in order to actually attract your man. Now, once you have your list, put it to the side, because the next thing is probably also one of the most important things, because having that list on its own is not going to do anything. And yes, you can read it every single morning, but in order for you to actually attract your dream partner, you have to embody that list. You have to become her before you can attract him. So that's the next part. Focus on becoming her and you will automatically attract him. So you want to be actively working on becoming her, because I want to say one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to manifesting men in relationships is you're focused on him. You're focused on the other person. But you're actually manifesting yourself. So you're not going to be focusing on him. You're not going to be putting yourself out there. I mean, yes, you can still go on dates, you can still talk to men, you can still pursue other people, but the majority of the time you're focused on becoming your best version. You're focused on becoming that list that you wrote down. So what can you do to become a better version of you? What can you do to actually work on your goals? What can you do to become more financially independent? I know for me, when I went through the worst heartbreak in 2018, 2019, I spent a whole year just focused on myself. I, yes, still dated other men. I still talked to other people, but I was so laser focused on me. That's when I really built my brand. I built so much confidence. I started to make my own money because I was not focused on something externally. I was focused on me. And I understood when I can vibrate at the same level as the person that I want to attract, naturally that is going to happen. So this is probably one of the biggest things that you want to take away from this video. You are not focused on somebody else when you're manifesting a partner. You're focused on becoming the best version of you, and thus you will match and attract that person because you're on the same level as them. Now, this next part, till this day, gives me chills because I was not searching for this man. I was not even looking for love. I honestly, in that moment, didn't even want to be in a relationship. But somehow, some way, I manifested my husband, Andy. Honestly, it seemed like overnight. So I'm going to share the story of how that happened and what actually occurred. But before I get into that, I just want to say, when it comes to manifesting the relationship, the love, the marriage, anything that you want, it has to do with two things. You want to have the intention, but you want to be so detached from it. So I made this list probably like 6 months prior to me meeting Andy. And I had high in my mind that I wanted to be in a relationship. However, in that moment, I was still kind of like going through my previous heartbreak, and I actively didn't necessarily want to be in a relationship, but I knew eventually I would be in one. So what happened was, in January of 2020, I actually packed my bags and I moved from Iowa to sunny Florida. I didn't know a single person there. I actually knew, well, that's a lie. I knew one person there, but aside from that, I didn't really know anybody else. I was living with her for about 3 weeks because when I moved to Florida, I didn't necessarily know what part of Florida I wanted to be in. So I started to look at apartments, and I was reaching out to like different realtors to show me places, and I finally booked a showing with one specific realtor. I get to the location, he gets out of the car, and suddenly we lock eyes, and instantly for me, I was just like, oh, he's kind of hot. But for him, he was like, wow, she is the most beautiful person ever, and she might actually be my wife in the future. And that person ended up being now my husband, Andy. So coincidentally, he was actually the first person that I met when I moved to Florida because he was my realtor. Now, right away, I didn't necessarily want to date him. I mean, he pursued me right away. He asked me on a date the first time he showed me a property. And yes, I went on that date, but months after that, I was a little resistant because once again, I didn't want to really be in a relationship. I was still guarded from my last one, but he kept pursuing me and he kept pursuing me. And he checked off every single box that I wanted. Now, once again, before, like what I said, some of the aspects of like, having him buy me luxury goods and making X amount of money. He wasn't hitting those boxes. However, he grew into the person that I wanted him to be. Now, going back to if I didn't have my love list, it would have been really hard for me to even distinguish whether or not Andy was someone that I should even entertain, if I should even date. Because I will say, like, in that moment when I moved to Florida, yes, I was talking to like other people, but Andy was somebody that I didn't really like he wasn't someone that was actually on my radar. Like, he was fun to hang out with, but initially I felt so comfortable with him, I didn't really feel the butterflies. So for me, I always chased people that gave me the butterflies, but he actually gave me a sense of safety, a sense of comfort, a sense of protection, every single thing that I had written down on my list. So old me, once again, probably wouldn't have done anything with him. But the fact that I actually had my list of not just every single thing that I wanted in my partner, but every single thing that I needed to be in order to be a match for my partner, that wouldn't have happened if I didn't take time to actually make that list, and not just make that list, but embody that list. And 5 years later, till this day, I still think about that moment because it truly felt like a scene out of a movie. We walk in, and for him, it was like love at first sight. For me, it was like, oh my gosh, he's cute at first sight. But you just never know when you're gonna meet your partner. I couldn't have ever expected that to happen. So I want you to know your person already exists. But until you become a match for who you actually want to attract, you might be missing them. But once you align, love will find you just like it did for me. Let me know in the comments what was your biggest takeaway, because once again, like what I said earlier, your person's already out there. So I'm sending you all of the love, all of the energy for you to attract and manifest the love of your life. Plus, if you haven't watched this video, make sure to watch it next. Until next week's episode, I love you so much once again, and make sure that you stay unforgettable.